Most people think working a gas station night shift is boring. Just you, the fluorescent lights, and the hum of the refrigerators. I used to think that too. Then one Tuesday night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., everything changed. My name is Jake. I was 22, working the overnight shift at a quick stop off Route 9, somewhere between nowhere and even more nowhere. The shift ran from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. By midnight, I'd seen maybe 4 customers. A trucker grabbing Red Bull, a couple of teenagers buying chips, the usual. By 2 a.m., the parking lot was completely empty, just the moths circling the light above the pumps. I had my phone out, watching videos, half asleep on my stool. That's when the door chimed. I looked up, and I froze. He was a man, maybe 35, 40 years old, medium build, dark hair, wearing a white button-down shirt. Except the shirt wasn't white anymore. It was soaked, completely soaked in blood, dark, deep red. His hands were red. There was a smear across his left cheek. His jeans had it too, splattered, like he'd walked through something I didn't want to imagine. I gripped the edge of the counter, but here's the thing that truly terrified me. It wasn't what he looked like. It was how he acted. He walked straight to the snack aisle, calm, completely calm, like a man picking up groceries on a Sunday afternoon. He picked up a bag of Doritos, Cool Ranch, and read the back of the bag, put it down, picked up a bag of kettle chips instead. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. My throat had sealed shut. He walked to the drink fridge next, opened it, stood there for a second, grabbed a 20-ounce Coke. Then he walked to my counter. He placed the chips and the Coke down like it was the most normal thing in the world. $4.79, I heard myself say. I don't even remember deciding to say it. He reached into his back pocket, slowly, and I watched his every move, and pulled out a $5 bill, slid it across the counter. His fingers left a faint red smear on the edge. I gave him his change, 21 cents. He picked it up, pocketed it, tucked the chips under his arm, grabbed the Coke, and turned toward the door. Then he stopped. He turned his head, slowly, not his whole body, just his head, and he looked at me. Not angry, not crazy, just flat. "Lock up early tonight," he said, and then he walked out. I stood there for what felt like 10 minutes, but was probably 30 seconds. Then my body finally reacted. I grabbed the phone behind the counter and dialed 911. It rang once. The door chimed again. He was back inside. I don't know how he moved that fast. I don't know how he got back in before I'd said a single word to the dispatcher, but he was there, halfway across the store already, and his eyes, they were different now, done being calm. I opened my mouth to scream into the phone, and he vaulted the counter. I don't mean he came around it. He put one hand on the edge and cleared it completely, like an athlete, like he'd done it before. I fell backward off my stool and scrambled to the back office. There's a door, a real door, with a lock that the manager always told us to use if anything ever went wrong. I finally understood what anything meant. I got through it. I got it locked. He hit it once, hard. The frame shook. Then, silence. I stayed in that room for 45 minutes. The police came after a neighbor reported a man matching his description walking down the highway covered in blood. He'd been involved in a hit and run 3 miles away and had walked to the gas station on foot. They caught him 2 towns over. I quit the next morning. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear that door chime, and I still hear him say those words, "Lock up early tonight." I've made hundreds of deliveries. Dark neighborhoods, bad weather, rude customers. You get used to it. But there's one delivery I never talk about. Until now. It was 11:40 p.m. on a Friday. We officially stopped taking orders at midnight, so this was one of the last ones coming in. I'm Marcus. I'd been driving for Pepperoni's, a local pizza place, not a chain, for about 8 months. Good tips on weekends usually. The order came through on the tablet. 1 large pepperoni. Address was out on Creston Mill Road, which I didn't know well. Rural area, far edge of our delivery zone. I almost passed it to my coworker Danny, but he was already heading out, so I took it. When I pulled up the address in my GPS, I noticed the customer had left a delivery instruction. Please use back door. Front door broken. Normal enough, I told myself. People leave notes like that all the time. It took me 22 minutes to get there. The house was set back from the road, down a long gravel driveway. No porch light, no lights in the windows at all that I could see. An old 2-story farmhouse, the kind that looks like it's been there since the 1800s. I sat in my car for a second. I told myself, just a night owl customer who forgot to turn the outside light on. Happens all the time. I grabbed the pizza and my phone, flashlight on, and started around the side of the house toward the back. The grass was wet. My sneakers soaked through almost immediately. I could hear crickets, the distant sound of a highway. Nothing else. I turned the corner to the back of the house. The garage door was open. Not cracked, wide open. A big detached garage about 30 feet from the back door of the house. And I could see inside. The floor was covered in plastic sheeting, overlapping, taped at the edges. The kind of thick plastic drop cloths you get at a hardware store. In the center, a single folding chair, a metal bucket, an extension cord running somewhere deeper into the dark. My brain stopped working for a second, just stopped. I took 1 step backward, then another. That's when the back porch light came on. The back door opened. A man stepped out. I couldn't see his face clearly, the light was behind him. He raised 1 hand and pointed, not at me, past me, toward the driveway. "Hey, hold on!" I didn't hold on. I ran, full sprint, back around the house to my car. I threw the pizza onto the passenger seat, got the engine on, and reversed out of that driveway faster than I've ever driven in my life. I called the police from the gas station a mile down the road. They went to the house. What they found in the garage, it was a home butchery setup. The man was a hobby homesteader who processed his own deer. Completely legal. The plastic, the bucket, the chair, all for dressing venison. The reason no lights were on, he'd been asleep and woke up when he heard gravel crunching. The officer told me this with a completely straight face while I sat shaking in my car. He was kind about it. Said I did the right thing by trusting my gut and getting out. But here's the thing I never told the police. Before I turned to run, in that half second between seeing the garage and the porch light coming on, I heard something from inside that garage. Not a deer. A sound I still can't fully explain. The officer said the place checked out clean, no evidence of anything wrong. But I turned in my resignation the next morning, and I have not delivered a single pizza since. Most people fear the dark. I used to think I didn't. I was a security guard for 3 years. Night shifts and empty buildings were just part of the job. Until the night I realized the warehouse wasn't empty. My name is Ryan. I worked security for a third-party firm that contracted with a furniture distribution warehouse out in the industrial district. About 280,000 square feet of shelving, forklifts, and cardboard. Last employee out by 7 p.m. every night. My shift started at 9. The job was simple. Walk the floor every 2 hours, check the loading dock doors, make sure nothing was on fire, log it in the book. For 6 months, not a single strange thing happened. Then, in November, things started feeling off. The first night, I thought I imagined it. I was on my second round, around 1 a.m. Aisle 14, tall metal racking systems, boxes stacked 20 feet high. quiet except for the building settling. Then I heard it, whistling, soft, tuneless, almost like someone humming to themselves while they worked. I stopped walking, held my breath. It stopped. I wrote it off as an HVAC echo. Old buildings do weird things acoustically. I finished my round and didn't think about it again. The second night, same aisle, same time, I heard it again. A little clearer this time. High-pitched, wandering notes. The kind someone makes when they're completely comfortable, relaxed. The third night, I came prepared. I didn't take my usual path. I looped around to approach aisle 14 from the opposite end, moving slowly, no flashlight. The whistling was there, and it didn't stop when I got close. I turned my flashlight on. At the very base of the shelving unit on the right, behind a stack of removed boxes that had been repositioned to form a kind of wall, I saw it. A sleeping arrangement. A flattened moving blanket on the concrete floor, a rolled-up hoodie being used as a pillow, an empty water bottle, a protein bar wrapper, a small battery-powered lantern switched off, a paperback book, and a plastic grocery bag with what looked like a change of clothes. Someone had been living here. Not for a night, for a while. Long enough to get comfortable, long enough to whistle. I stood up and turned around. Aisle 14 stretched away from me into the dark, and between two metal uprights, about 30 feet away, just inside the edge of where my flashlight reached, there was a face, pale, watching me, not moving, smiling. Not a big smile, not a crazy smile, just a faintest pull at the corners of the mouth. The smile of someone who had been here much longer than me and knew it. I did not approach. I backed up slowly, keeping my light on that space between the uprights. The face didn't move, didn't follow, just watched. I got to the end of the aisle, turned, and walked quickly, forcing myself not to run, back to the guard booth near the entrance. I called the police. I did not re-enter the warehouse floor. 2 officers arrived. They did a sweep with a K9 unit. They found the nest exactly as I'd described. They did not find the person. No one was ever identified. No one was ever caught. Whoever it was knew that building well enough to disappear into 280,000 square feet before the dog could track them. The company installed cameras in every aisle the following week. The cameras never picked up anything. I transferred to a daytime post at a different facility shortly after. I still think about that smile sometimes. Not because it was angry or threatening, because it wasn't. It was patient. Like whoever it was had been there a long time and was perfectly fine with being there a little longer.